All right, we're going to see if this is working. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about this, y'all. This is the worst I've ever seen it. This is the worst I've ever seen it. Okay? And I've been here for damn near 10 years. This is the worst, Johnson. So I'm wondering if this is YouTube. Because I've never seen YouTube do it this bad. I've never seen it this bad, Johnson. And I haven't received a message from YouTube. So usually what happens if you're on YouTube, guys, and they don't like something that you played, they will cut your stream until you cut it off, whatever it is, like a song. But in this case, this was a 30-second clip that I cut like in 30 seconds. I couldn't play it any longer than 30 seconds. It was only 30 seconds. The clip was over, and they still cut me off. I stopped my stream, I restart my stream, which is what you're supposed to do. And then in the midstream, I'm cut off again. I start my stream, I restart my stream again, and I'm cut off again. I don't know if this was YouTube. I really don't know. Now, have I ever played a clip I shouldn't have played? Or that I thought was fine to play, was safe to play, that's available other places on the internet? Yes. But I turned out I was wrong? Yes. But never like this, Johnson. So if you're just now tuning into the show, I may or may not be live when you see this. I may or may not be live. Brian Crosby says, YouTube's having problems. I'm not alone. Give it up for Brian Crosby. Give it up for Brian. He said YouTube's having troubles. Like I said, guys, when I've had problems on YouTube about copyright or playing a clip, they would cut me they would stop the stream until the clip was over, and then they would restart it. I never had them repeatedly do this. So I would like to say I think Brian might be onto something. If Brian says, give it up for Brian Crosby. Brian says that he's seeing some other people reporting the same problems with YouTube. Now, we know Facebook recently went through some problems. And so I don't know. Mrs. Black has had to come down and tell me I was disconnected 3 times tonight. If it happens the 4th time, guys, I'm going to have to call it a wrap. Because we can't be climbing up steps like that, for one. I'm in the basement. I'm in the dungeon. Okay? So, gosh, man, I was on the roll, man. I'm pissed off because I had something to say about Sage Steele of ESPN. And every time I get going good, man, it cuts me off, man. Cuts me off. Twitter used to love a brother. Now they don't. But Twitter. Wow. What's up, Keith Watson? Keith Weston, what's up, brother? Will, what's up? VP. Piammer, what's up, man? What's up, Sue? What's up, Susan? What's up, young man? Yeah, look, watch it on Twitch. I'll keep going if you guys go to Twitch. I need you to go to Twitch anyway sometimes. I need to get everybody. We have to have a Twitch day. A Twitch day. You know what I'm saying? So should I do this again, guys? Do we want to hear about Sage Steele? Maybe Sage Steele has us blocked. Maybe it's Sage Steele. I done promoted the hell out of her tonight, haven't I? I promoted the hell out of her tonight. No one even knew who Sage Steele was. Most of you still don't know who she is. What's up, Kaylin? What's up, brother? Thank you. She's with it. Okay, so Sam. All right. Roll me one, Sam. All right, here we go. Damn it, here we go. Wasted time. ESPN has a knack for hiring horrible anchors. They do. They have a knack for hiring horrible anchors. Sage Steele was an ESPN anchor. She still is. She is now suspended. She's suspended because she said negative things about getting the jab. Okay? She got the jab. She said a lot of negative stuff that ESPN does not approve of. And because I guess it was her day to act a fool, she decided to go in on Barack Obama and him claiming or him checking black on his census, even though his mama's white. Like, Sage is not that bright. Now, Sage, I know you're into sports. You used to call in balls and strikes. So let me call some balls and strikes for you. First of all, you said you were inferring that Barack Obama is not black because his mother's white. Strike! 2. Then you criticized that because his dad wasn't around, somehow that delegitimizes that his dad was black. Strike 2! And strike 3 is, you think it's a compliment that Candace Owens, or people call you the Candace Owens of ESPN. Strike 3! You're out of there! Yeah, that's how that works. In case you didn't know, I mean, maybe you weren't informed. I would be the first to inform you. You are garbage. Now listen, man. For the record, guys, all my white allies out there, all the 10 black white allies and accomplices, let me tell you this. When I talk about people not being black, I'm not talking about what they look like. I got some white friends in West Virginia who are blacker than Sage Steele. It's not about color. Blackness and anti-blackness are not colors. They're internal. And there are also actions. So there are some black people on YouTube right now who are so-called leftists who are not very black, who told me for years, Tim, don't cover black issues. That's not what you people tune into you for. Those people are leftists. Now, those people continue to talk to leftists or so-called progressives and don't talk about black issues. But to me, to be a commentator and do what I'm doing for a living, to do this work, I must talk about black issues. Regardless of how many people I lose, regardless of what people say, regardless of what opportunities don't come my way, regardless of what the YouTube algorithm does to me. Because I care about the black community. I care about black Americans. I care that we get something for our vote. I care that our politics helps us. It has to. America created a white middle class for white Americans. We need America to create a black middle class for black Americans. It's that simple. And all allies and accomplices are welcomed. Sage Steele is not black by choice. She doesn't claim her blackness. She doesn't want to be black, and I'm fine with that. In fact, I encourage it. Just don't take a seat that's meant for a black person. Take a white seat. We don't got enough to spare. We can have coons like you sitting in our seats. So anyway, they suspended Sage Steele because they didn't like what she said. Well, Sage Steele, you're automatically, in my book, you're not invited to the black cookout or the fish fry. We're happy to see you go. In fact, we would wish you never showed up to begin with. What's most sad about people like Sage Steele, who deny their blackness, who don't want to claim blackness, who want to throw it off, those people love to use it when their back's against the wall. Take Larry Elder, for instance. What did Larry Elder do when they started calling his ass out? Cloaked himself in blackness. Yeah, he did. He went to the black book. All of a sudden, he was pulling the race card. Come on, Larry. What did Alan West do when the good old boys pulled over his wife. All of a sudden, Allen became black again, didn't he? Yeah, that's what they do. OJ did the same thing. I remember when OJ famously said, or I remember hearing his words, reading them. I was too young to know it, to hear him say it myself. But OJ famously said, I ain't black, I'm OJ. Okay. Shout out to Hoffa. So those people throw off their blackness, but when he needed Johnny Cochran, and then he needed to claim that the LAPD was racist as hell against him because he was a black man, he had no problem being black again. Amazing, Johnson. So anyway, Sage Steele, they kicked her off for a week. Maybe she'll be back. And look, and the whole controversy, the majority of the controversy was not about black or white, even though that's what she wanted to make it, because she knows she's going to gaslight black people, right? Troll us to get notoriety. That's what they do. That is the game plan for these folks. They like doing that, get you riled up, get black people pissed off because black people are going to talk about it. That gets some notoriety, and then the conservatives go, yeah, I like that one. I like that black one. That one's okay. She can come to the white cookout. We have an apple pie and hot dogs. So this was her plan. But the real reason she got suspended, the real reason why she's in trouble, is because she was arguing about the mandate of 100 employees or more companies have to get vaccinated, and who also receive money from the federal government. So that's what she was talking about, and that's what got her in trouble. And now it's turned into something totally different. So, moving on. Damn it, man. We're about to go to phone lines. This is one last thing I want to mention. How many people heard of Ozzy Media? Ozzy Media. Anybody heard of Ozzy Media? It's by a guy named Ozzy Watson. Okay, so Carlos Watson, that's his name, Carlos Watson. Okay, Carlos Watson. On Monday morning, Carlos Watson scored one of the most valuable interview slots on American television. It turns out he was on NBC Today, okay? Now, people thought he was coming on there to explain why his company was going down the drain. Apparently, Ozzy Media, which is a company that does news work that most of us don't watch, I'm pretty sure most of you don't watch it. He went on NBC Today to talk about why his company wasn't performing well. And apparently, it looks like something's happened with his numbers. And here's the thing, guys. I ran across Ozzy Media about 6 months ago. Me and Mrs. Black were looking up other content creators in this black space. Black content creators that own their own networks. Independent black networks like the Tim Black Show, TBTV, Reset Race, The Black Authority, Breaking Brown, Tariq Nasheed's, B1 folks, the Professor Black Truth. All these different entities, and there's so many more, man. Terrain Walker. Terrain Walker, that's it. Benjamin Dixon's show. Actify Press. Like, there's different. So, every once in a while, I'll take a look out of the landscape to see who else is operating. Political Thirst Trap, Clickbait, Political Thirst Trap. All these folks, right? Look at that. Look at Tim Black showing solidarity. Information Man and Bob Report, Bob TV, and more people, right? Right? What's up? Okay? We need some more black women in the media game. Damn, listen to that, guys. I'm not naming any black women networks. Give it up for Kevin on Stage. Okay? The Corey Holcomb Show doing their own thing, like all independent black. But so anyway, back to this. Here's the thing. Carlos Media, or Carlos Watson, seems like he was full of shit. Yeah, because Ozzy Media had these huge numbers. I'm like, how did Ozzy Media get such huge numbers? Turns out, Watson told employees on Friday that the company he founded, the one that breathlessly promised to deliver the new and the next, was closing its doors amid reports that Ozzy had inflated its readership and newsletter subscriber numbers and misrepresented itself to its potential investors. Potential investors thought Ozzy Media was doing it, that they were killing it, but they weren't killing it. They just looked like they were killing it. But Watson did something business. He said, we're going to open for business, he told anchor Craig Melvin. He likens his decision to Lazarus rising from the dead, a reference as grandiose as Melvin. They seem to have gotten Ozzy into trouble in the first place. Even in the brazen self-hype culture of Silicon Valley, where the mantra for many startups has been fake it till you make it, Watson appears to be taking the art of the bluff to an entirely new level. Fake it even after you tanked it. Oh, the Washington Post is sticking to the Ozzy Media, man. So look, here's the thing. I don't want to read any more of this article, okay? Here's what I want you to know. When me and Mrs. Black looked at Black Media, we ran across Ozzy Media, we thought, ooh, this is nice. He's got a flashy studio. Damn, I wish I had that stuff. He's obviously got all the, what you call it, the accompaniments of someone doing well in the industry. But amazingly, I didn't know who he was. So I'm like, wow, this guy's doing really well. He's got this great staff. He's got nice, clean graphics. He's got great transitions. He's got great sound. He's got great camera work. Something's going on here. This guy's got an investment going on. When I looked him up, it looks like he had owned himself, like he's the owner himself. I'm like, that's impressive. Then I started looking at his numbers, and I'd see he'd have great guests on. He'd do these big numbers. I'm like, this guy's doing really good numbers. And he's able to get like major people on his show, like Barack Obama. Like, this guy's killing it. Like, he's interviewing major people, like, woo! Now, we know I've done pretty good. I've interviewed senators and Congress people and people running for presidential candidates and entrepreneurs and icons and professors. Like, so many great people I've interviewed, right? But I'm like, wow, this guy Ozzy's doing it at a whole new level, man. This guy, his numbers are like what my numbers used to be before I covered politics. Like when I used to do 6 million, 4 million, 3 million, 1 million, 900,000. That's what I used to do before I did politics. And you could just go look it up. That's what Ozzy was doing while doing politics. Turns out that's not real. So here's the thing, man. Damn it. Looks like Ozzy may have lied to some people to get some money. Told people he was doing better than he was doing. Using I don't know what to make it look like he's doing well. That's what it looks like. That's what I'm reading here. Now look, I don't know what's true. Don't sue me. I'm a small guy. I don't have the money, Ozzy. You wouldn't get anything but this microphone, and you have to come get it. And I'm a teeth chipper. So look, here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. Ozzy, if you up here fabricating numbers, that's horrible stuff, man. What's also horrible is that one of your investors is Charlemagne. That's why Charlemagne the God apparently gave money to Ozzy Media. He's one of the investors. Hey, Charlemagne, it'd been a lot more better for you to support this over here because, I actually am doing this. I actually am independent, and my numbers are real. Now, they're not always good, but they are my numbers, and they're not fabricated. We may do 5 million views across all social media this month. That's down. It used to be twice that. But that's what happens when you truly stand up for black people. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Roland Martin was calling out Ozzy Media for unscrupulous activity in the media space. And Ozzy had something to say back because Ozzy went on The Breakfast Club. So this is back and forth between Ozzy, Carlos Watson, and Roland Martin. And I'm going to do something, and it's something I wouldn't normally do. I'm going to agree with Roland Martin on this. And this is why, man. This is why. Ozzy Media is one of those black guys who reminds me of Sage Steele. See, here's the deal, man. Don't go and pretend that you black media when you never hold yourself out to be black media. Yeah, man. There's a cross to bear if you black media. If you are truly black media, you report on black issues. I've never seen Ozzy Media or Carlos Watson really report on black issues. I never saw him take a stand on blackness. If you don't stand up for black issues, if you're like some of those people on the left who told me don't cover black issues, and then when I say, man, you ain't black, what you talking about? I am black. All of a sudden, everybody sides with them. They agree with the bullshit. Don't understand that people that don't stand up for black issues, I don't care if you black, we embrace our allies. We embrace our fellow accomplices, our accomplices in the game, be they white, Latino, Asian, Native American. They stand up for us. They're our allies. We respect the hell out of them. We need more of those people. But if you are black and you don't stand up for black issues, the least you could do is not try to claim blackness when shit go bad. That's what Carlos Watson is trying to do now. Goes on the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne gave him the platform to do so. Charlamagne, this is black independent media over here, Joe. We stand up for blackness. We stand on black issues. We support black people. We support us getting the first shake in this country. We're willing to say the word white supremacy and racism and systemic racism. We're willing to call out both the Republicans and the Democrats. And that's where I break ranks with Roland Martin. Roland Martin will only call out the Democrats when it's very convenient and very safe to do so without ruffling the feathers of the Democratic establishment. So though I agree with Roland Martin's critique of Ozzy Media and Carlos Watson, I have my own critiques of Roland Martin himself. Roland Martin, you can't call Ozzy or Carlos Watson petty when you are the petty of petty. You look up in the dictionary, petty, there'll be a picture of Roland Martin from 1998 looking like he's still 42 or 32. Who you fooling, bro? But listen, man, listen, here's the deal, and I mean this with all sincerity. As bad as Roland Martin is, he is black media, and he does hold himself out to be that. Now, we all know he kind of backed into it because white people kicked him out. It is what it is, Roland. That is the prevailing census amongst black people with you, who aren't 70 years old, who still think that you are the hope and the promise of a new generation. We knew black media, Roland. Ozzy, you ain't never been with us before. Don't be with us now. Roland, you had an opportunity to stand up for black people. You time and time again, you failed to make those harsh decisions. Those hard decisions where you have to draw a line between yourself and the Democratic Party. Seems like you like to check which way the wind's blowing before you make those statements. If you have that problem, if you have that incongruency, if you're trapped in that dilemma and you can't make a decision, what's more important, the betterment and upliftment of black people or the Democratic Party, they're not truly black media. It's something else. It's good to see your numbers doing well. Great. And it's good to see MSNBC having you back on their shows again. That's great for you. But what will happen eventually is you will fall back, slip back into your old ways of covering more and more for the Democrat Party even further. And this time, there will be no black door. All right, guys, let's go to those phone lines while we're still active and live on the YouTubes because they keep cutting us off, bro. I'm going to bring over my list, and then we're going to go to phone calls. You guys ready? You know I am. Wolfpack. Oh. All right now. We are back in the house, y'all. That's right. We still live. We're still live. Okay, we're gonna go to phone lines now. Look at that, man. First you can't beat them. Try again. All right. 214, you are live on Freedom Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment? 214.
Oh, hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, who's this?
Yes, my name is T. And the question I have for you, because I hear that you say that the Democrat Party doesn't have a black agenda or any other party, but I don't see how you can lay blame on anyone else other than black people for not bringing that agenda to them. And if they don't acquiesce on our agenda, we don't vote. I don't understand why we think that if we keep voting for the Democrats, even though they keep ignoring us, they're going to magically give us an agenda. And we keep doing the exact same voting patterns every 4 years. I mean, to me, that's like the definition of insanity.
What's your question? Hold on, brother. What's your
2020?
Brother, you said you had a question for me. What's your question, brother?
My question is black people the reason to blame for why there's no black agenda at all? Because we don't hold anyone accountable. Are we the one to blame for that?
Okay, man, let me ask you a question. Give it up for this caller with the question, should we blame black people for white people? Damn. All right. Yeah, whenever I hear questions like this, I realize they're boring frustration. Black people and many people are pissed off with the Democratic Party for a number of reasons. Black people are not the only people that are pissed off with the Democratic Party. The problem is black people, like all other people in America, are held captive by a two-party system, which we did not create, which we really have very limited ability to change. It's because of the corruption that's baked into our system. So what we need to do is redo our politics in America. That's going to need to start at a fundamental move to move us out of the two-party system. So that's the problem, brother. It's not that black people make it that way. If you didn't vote next year, there would still be a Democrat and Republican Party. Now, my thing is this. What I think black people should do is we should organize ourselves in such a way that we are able to, as a block, pull our support of the Democratic Party if they do not have a black agenda. What we need is more cohesion on that discussion. If we have more cohesion, we have more black people working together on this. But the problem with that, brother, is we don't have a media. See, we need a media that's just as powerful as the MSNBCs and CNNs that's able to galvanize people. Individuals are, by and large, first of all, most people don't even vote. Like, 50% of America doesn't even vote, brother. You do realize this. So if we could get those other 50% of America, or more Americans or more black Americans to get involved in the political process, and it doesn't even have to be voting, but if we could get more people involved in the process. Do you know in Greece, when they're upset, millions of people took to the streets. That made the Million Man March look minuscule. Millions of folks joined in a general strike. Millions. Man, we're lucky if we get 300,000 people. We're lucky. We have movements in America where you're lucky if you get 100 people at a rally, and they call it a rally and say that's what's going to topple America's politics, and it's not. So we need more people engaged, brother. What we do not need to do is point fingers at black people. We need to galvanize black people around an agenda. So this is my plan. My plan is to push for a black agenda, formulate that black agenda in the grassroots level. Tell black people like myself, and white allies and accomplices, I will not turn down help. Well, we build and we structure a black agenda and we get momentum locally in our communities. We take that momentum and we start to spread that across the country. And we rely on our media to help us do that. We need mass communication in the world of technology, of mass communication. Mass technology, we need that word to be spread. Believe it or not everybody's you, brother. Not everybody's tuned in to what's going on. People threw their hands up to politics a long time ago and walked away. I used to be one of them. So that's what I think needs to be done. Not pointing the finger at black people saying, black people, why'd you vote for Biden? Shit, why should they vote for Trump? Republicans gave black people no reason to vote for Trump. Yeah, so Trump gave some money to HBCUs, but on the back end, he brought back civic asset forfeiture that bankrupted black people and took their ownings and belongings. You know, Trump signed in a bunch of conservative judges that threw the books at black people with open hand and closed hand fists. So I hear it all the time, man. There is nowhere to run. The only way we can do this is if we work together. Blaming black people for black people being disenfranchised in a white supremacist country that's controlled by white people and the 1%, rich white people at that, is not the solution, brother. Neither is calling into the Tim Black Show to try to shit on black people. I understand you're frustrated. We are frustrated. What you should be saying is, how can we build and motivate, educate, and mobilize black people? That'd be a better question, not the one you posed. All right, so let's keep it moving, Johnson. 213, you are live on the Tim Black Show on Freedom Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment?
Damn it, Tim, he would say some mess. I was going in a whole different direction. It's Sam, the Khaleesi. Oh, my God, man. They just didn't want to let my brother talk tonight, huh?
Nah, they was on my neck tonight, bro. I tell you, sis.
Oh, they was on your neck, your head, your limbs. This was a mess. So I'm just gonna piggyback on what you said about it's about what are you gonna do to educate. I'm gonna piggyback on that and go further. What are you doing to organize people in your community so when your politician doesn't listen, you can legally punish them? And what I mean is, can we pull together 300 people or 1,000 people worth of signatures and go to their office and like, look, we got 1,000 signatures. We need a conversation, or we're holding this town hall. You need to show up here, or else we're going to discuss you while you're not in the room. Like, there's other things. Like, we got to do our work too, because a lot of people just don't know this stuff. A lot of people are doing their day-to-day lives. They're just trying to work and survive. If we're not making the effort to, like you said, educate them, and not just you're going to have to knock a door or two in your lifetime if you're going to try to get a movement going. I know I love YouTube and Twitter too, but door knocking people, that's how you get to people, because a lot of people aren't online. So, and please blame black people last. So that's all I have to say about that. Why I really called is I wanted to thank you for the fact that you do a call-in show, because some of your people are trying to nudge us, and I was like, I don't know if y'all really want to talk to us. But I want to thank you for being willing to do that, and I also want to thank the Wolfpack for being so amazing, because Tim has been very gracious to Reset Race, because I've been picking people from the Wolfpack and throwing them on shows. Like, we have people that are on the new what do you call the John Brown Leftist. One of them is literally a viewer of your show that is coming directly out of our chat to come and join us next week. So I just appreciate that there's so many good people that actually really want to do this work, that want to see, ADOS, U.S. freedmen, Black Americans who descend from chattel slavery, get reparations. And they also are interested in coming together so we can come up with a better plan for the whole country. So I'm just in awe to be around such amazing people. I'm humbled and I'm blessed, and I thank you for bringing those people to me. So I thank you so much, Tim. Thank you for sharing your platform, and thank you for caring about your people first.
Damn it. Thank you, Sam, for calling in, sister, saying such great stuff about it, brother. I appreciate it. The check's in the mail, sister. Wow. Like, that's why, like I told folks, man, like I said over and over, man, Reset Race is part of my political education as well, man. So part of doing my due diligence is to broaden my knowledge base and become more aware and become more in tune. And Reset Race is a utility for me as well. So it's only fair that something that I find so valuable that I'm willing to pass that on to my fans, my viewers, the Tim Black Wolfpack. So look, as much as dope as that is, right? They're doing the work, man. Like, shout out to Ida, and shout out to anybody else, and Susan, and anybody else, and Keith, and my man Marvin, and anyone else who's volunteered with you, who's doing work over there, and Sign of the Times is over there. Give it up. So that's a beautiful thing. And now just going back to your first part, I agree 100%. I mean, it's easy to sit back and point. What I don't like is that when we beat up on ourselves. I've been doing a lot of the history on Black folks throughout American history, and it's great to take that time back because maybe you need to do that, brother. I understand frustrations that people have, and just coinciding with what Sam said. What are we doing? Like, don't just say like, what are Black people doing, as if we just want this big mass of Black people that aren't doing what you want them to do. Brother, you have agency. If you're aware, it's your job to teach. If you have solutions, it's your job to implement. Like, that's your job. You can't say, hey, man, you can't say why. You sound like an able-bodied brother to me, man. You sound like you have ideas. It sounds like you are of age, that you can go out and exercise your communication skills and go talk to people, and why aren't you doing that? And if you are doing that, I applaud that. Do more of that. That's what needs to happen, okay? Because if we know, it's our obligation to use that knowledge to help our people, because we're at the bottom of the barrel, man. By 2053, it's estimated that Black people will be zeroed out. That means zero wealth. Right now, the average Black family is worth only 10% of what the average white family is worth. And that's when you don't count Bill Gates, when you don't count Bezos, okay? That's counting regular working people, upper class to lower class, okay? All the way up the spectrum and cutting off the top 10 and the bottom 10, all right? That's what it is. People don't want to accept that. That's where we are. So what needs to happen at this point is we need to pool our resources, not demonize one another. All right, I'm going to go next call. Thank you, Sam. I got a 540 in the house. 540, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Tim, this is Gordon from Virginia. And I want to put some things straight because I'm a fan of a gentleman by the name of Neely Fuller Jr., who wrote the book, The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept. And when he came into the definition of racism is the mistreatment of people based on color. So as a result of that, the language that you're using is very confusing. Latino, African American, all that garbage. There's no such thing as American because we have yet to be produced. America has yet to be produced in its correct form. There are only two people on the planet in the known universe. They're white people.
Hold on, brother. So you said I'm confusing you. You don't know what I'm talking about when I say Latino?
Well, they're not considered a
brother. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say Latino? You said it's confusing you, right?
Confusing.
So you don't know what I'm talking about when I say
because
Latino?
All victims of racism are very confused.
Brother, I said, you said when I use terms like Latino or Asian, I'm confusing you. How am I confusing you? It's your statement, brother. I just want you to explain yourself.
Well, sir, if you understood the code book, you will understand the language.
Brother, you said I'm confused, so I'm asking you, who am I confusing, brother?
I'm also familiar.
Don't tell me about the book. I'm talking to you, brother. Like, brother, hold on, man. Let's be fair, brother. You call up, you make an assertion that I'm confusing you. I said, how am I confusing you? So I'm not using his code book. I'm familiar with Nelly Fuller Jr. as well. I've listened to his recordings. Very bright man, very bright, very insightful. I love the brother. I love Nelly Fuller Jr. But what are you talking about, brother? Like you said, I'm confusing people. Now, how am I confusing people? Because I use terms that are typically used in the United States. You know what would be confusing to people, my audience? If I use the language that you find in your Nelly Fuller book, who are not Nelly Fuller readers. That would be confusing. And I have yet to hear anybody call up to my show. Listen, brother, I've been doing it. Listen, brother, I've been doing this show for 10 years. I've never had somebody call up and say they don't understand what Latinos were. You're the first person to call up to ever say that in 10 years that I'm confusing them because I used the term Latino or Asian. So I want to know if you really calling in good faith, brother, or is this your time to shine and you're trying to troll? Like, what's really going on, brother? I'll let you have next word.
Well, this is not about trolling. This is not about trying to get 15 minutes of fame. It is trying to speak directly at what we're dealing with as people who are under the classification of black.
Brother, nah, man. So if you're not trolling, brother, if you're not trolling me, right, and you're not trying to get 15 minutes of fame, you ain't gonna get 15 minutes anyway. That ain't gonna happen. You might get one more minute. If you're not trying to do that, why open the conversation by saying that I'm confusing people? It's like a dig at me, right? See, this is the problem I have with people, right? This is the problem. I'm gonna say it, man. I've had you. You're not alone, brother. In defense of you, you're not alone. You don't have to be antagonistic to have a disagreement with someone. I've had this with people that consider themselves part of the wolf pack. They get antagonistic. They disagree with me on something. Instead of saying, hey, brother, I understand this or understand that, and I get your point of view, and I see where you're going with that, and I know that you love black people, man. At least you seem like you love black people, and it seems like you really care about the plight of black people because you are doing a black show to a white and black audience, and that can't be easy. But brother, please consider my point of view on this, man. Let me explain this to you. This is how I see this. See, there's diplomatic ways to do it. Those are the ways that I would do it. Instead, I get people like you who call up, and instead of being amicable, diplomatic to the person who's hosting the show, they be confrontational. They make assertions, and then when I call them out, they got nowhere to go. Now, brother, I don't want to talk over you, but I feel like I've taken more than enough time now. Next time you call the show, brother, if you want to make a point about it, and I don't even know what your point is. I don't really see, brother, I think you want us to waste time on schematics, man. We're in America, and we're dealing with a certain plight. Black people behind the eight ball, and I'm talking about a black agenda. I'm talking about, and when I talk about a black agenda, I've been very, very, very specific about the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about American descendants of slavery, American descendants of chattel slavery, people that have been systemically held back in this country for centuries. People know who the fuck I'm talking about. I'm very clear about that. Now, when I talk about other people in this country, I'm talking about people who are not that. I don't think there's any confusion about the people that I'm trying to assist. There's definitely no confusion about the people that I uplift. There's no confusion about the scholars I brought on this show and what they're talking about and what our agenda is for black people, number one being reparations. And when we talk about reparations, I'm not talking about reparations for Latinos. I'm not talking about reparations for Asian Americans. I'm not talking about reparations for Native Americans or any other group. I'm talking about reparations for black folks. So if you got a beef with me, brother, I wish you would examine that beef and make sure that beef is because you're coming from a good place. And I'm going to move on to the next call, man. I'm disappointed, and I'm tired of people doing this. Hope this is a learning moment for you. Next time you want to teach people, teach, brother. But don't stop by taking shots, because I'm here for the smoke. All right. 315, I dearly hope that you are more substantive and more informative and more helpful to our conversation than my last caller. 315, you are live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hello, brother Tim. This is B from outside of Syracuse.
B, what's up? My brother, how are you, brother?
Man, I was concerned about you earlier, man. I was listening, and suddenly, boom, I noticed the video feed cut, and I was shocked, and then I went to your page because originally it didn't show that you were streaming anymore. I had to refresh a couple of times, and you were back. So, man, I'm glad all things worked out, brother.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Well, let me get to it. The guy who just called, I used to listen to a podcast that was heavily structured around Neely Fuller Jr.'s teachings. Wow. Just wow. Neely Fuller himself wouldn't even approach you like that. Not immediately just say, oh, well, you're confused. No. One of the greatest lessons that I learned from Neely Fuller Jr., I wasn't a fan of a lot of his book. Some of it was useful, some of it not so much. But organizing the information that you are going to be working from was one of the best things that I extracted from his teachings and his book. Black folks have a lot of different ways of saying the same thing. And basically, his military training taught him, and I think to some extent we would benefit from having language that was universally communicable between our people. That was what I extracted from him. Outside of that, I have a question. Have you read the ISIS papers?
Wow, brother. I never completed them. I am aware of the ISIS papers. Many years ago, I did. Many years ago, I did look into it, but no, sir.
Well, do yourself a favor, buy another copy, and review them. Just partially, there's a section in there about guns. And when you spoke about the man who was killed in Oregon, it immediately reminded me of what she was saying about guns. Guns were originally said to be the great equalizer.
Oh, you talking about Francis Cress Welsing's?
Dr. Francis.
Yeah. I'm aware of it. I know what you're referring to now, brother. Yes, I am aware, and that analogy, the symbolization of the gun. It's yes, sir.
Yes. I'm sorry, man. I'm a little excited. I'm a little excited. That was. I knew you knew. I knew it. I was contemplating not even calling up to ask that one question because I'm like, there's no way he doesn't know. No way. Okay, and then let me see. I took one. But
remember this. B, explain to me, brother. Okay, so we know that about. We know that symbolism. We understand it. You and I on the same page, brother. How would I go about sharing that kind of with an audience on this type of a platform? It's kind of dangerous. You know that that's like walking to the dangerous alligator bridge. With the drawbridge down. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of dangerous to kind of talk about. You know what I'm saying? So I could only go but so far now.
I'm sorry, the alligator thing.
Yeah.
The alligator thing kind of threw me off. I have a statue of Sobek, the alligator god from Kemet, that I literally was looking at when you said that, and that got me. Anyway, I'll be honest with you. I don't know how you would specifically teach on that. You yourself, you're very clear with your language and you have fun with your language. Yeah. And frankly, I think that's what you should do. Do what you do best, my brother, when it comes to this stuff. When you are having fun, you are teaching. So that's exactly how you should approach this. I mean, that was how Public Enemy did it. She was the inspiration for their album Fear of a Black Planet.
Damn.
A lot of people may have not known that.
I didn't know. Now that I didn't know. Yes, right.
Yeah, there's actually an interview on YouTube. If you type in Dr. Welsing and Public Enemy and Fear of the Black Planet, there's an interview that should come up. It was up last year where she actually talks about that. But okay. Let me, so I don't take up much more of your time. On the brother who called up about the Black agenda, people have to understand that there used to be a major national Black agenda back in the 70s and the 60s, and even in the 80s. But as we moved into the 90s, as we moved into the 2000s, fragmentation among the middle and upper class prevented a solid Black agenda from ever taking shape again. There was one, I remember Dr. West talking about it back in 2008, 2009, that a number of Black leaders had put together for Barack Obama and got nowhere on it. So, I mean, there has been a Black agenda. There has been attempts at solving some of the major issues in the Black community, through the regular traditional channels of power. It's just as we've moved into this decade, it's become a little bit harder to do. Lastly, have you read or listened to any works by Amos Wilson?
Not familiar. Not sure.
Oh man, Blueprint for Black Power. His seminal work came out either. I know he completed it before he passed away, but it might have actually been released after he passed away. I'm not sure, but he also has a really good book on the psychology of the Black child. That is absolutely amazing. But Blueprint for Black Power, a masterwork from him. So I'm going to definitely hand you your mic back, my brother, man. Keep up the great work, man. Much support from over here. Peace, brother.
Hey, thank you, B from Syracuse. Give it up for my caller, man. Give it up for my caller. Man. I want to know what people think about Joe Biden and the fact that he's losing black support. You know, my caller was critical of black people that voted for Joe Biden, but some of them are having buyer's remorse. 20% of them, actually. Associated Press poll, Morning Consult polls echoing the same results. So maybe sometimes we look at the positive as well. Does that mean we're priming ourselves? We're getting closer to being in a position where independent media can make some definite inroads with some people and say, hey, see, aren't you tired of this? No anti-lynching bill? Huh? I think that, look, guys, quiet as it's kept, I think some of independent media is making some noise already. New black media is making some inroads. I believe this. I believe we're making some noise. I think some people are hearing us. Anyway, shout out once again to B from Syracuse. I'm going to go to the next call. We got a couple people here. 626, you are live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Johnson, how you doing?
What's up, Johnson?
Lafayette. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, brother. You know what? Again, a great show as usual. I'm gonna tell you a lot of this stuff that comes down. What's happening with you, really, and what's happening across the country. Really, it's racism, and I hate to say racism because we're all one race, one human race. But it's like that's how the oppressors created it. So that's what we have to stick to until we can get everything right. But, it's like it went from, I'm sorry, the older gentleman who worked with Zuckerberg creating Facebook, he said it flat out. He said plain and simple, he went, the way that all this racism has come up in YouTube and Facebook, he said because they took our history, and primarily digitized it and put it into the internet. And therefore, that's how it's created all of these racist algorithms. So this is something that is primarily, since they are the architects and we are the end users, we have to take in what they use, what they create, and it is horrible. I'm going to give, I don't know if you remember the robot that came out. They had it, and it was like less than a week. They had to turn the thing off, and this thing was spewing all this racist diatribe. The reason is because the society feeds into it. It's a sad part of it, but this is what it is. I mean, when you have a Thomas Jefferson who can write a Declaration of Independence, but then at the same time say, oh, well, but some of the people, the human beings, are only 3/5 of a human being, and then at the same time, raping his one of his property and saying it's a relationship and having children with him, and then saying, well, how do you explain all of this? And then now I'm actually going to use a little bit of what you are. What does Thomas Jefferson say? It's like holding the wolf by the ears. You know it's wrong, but you dare not let go. That's how I define enslavement. Knew it was wrong. This is something that's just endemic within society. And the only way it's going to change is if everything changes about it. And one of the biggest things that have to change is going to be us. I mean, like my family, law enforcement, education. But you know that everyone always talks about when they say, "Oh yeah, well, you better vote blue no matter who." Vote blue no matter who. Okay, great. We've been voting blue no matter who, and what has that gotten us? It's gotten us communities that are as segregated as they were back in the 1950s. If
Sure.
things are going to be doing something better, then we have to see results, and that's not what we're seeing. And so what's happening now is that people are slowly but surely just going, "Hey, you know what? I'll just go ahead and walk away because," and I'm using a little philosophical talk here, a little Plato, but it's like if we are all together in this cave, locked together, and then one of us gets out and sees something different and comes back down to tell everybody else, are they going to believe me or are they going to say you're crazy? And it's like I've just seen something else. I've seen the rest of the world. And I'm like this. It's like I demand more. And part of demanding more is by doing what, like Malcolm X said, plain and simple. Don't choose either party. Choose somebody because they're going to do something good for you. That's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
Because, see, we give our vote and we get nothing in return before our vote. And that is the killer. That's the killer with all of it. Because we're just sitting here and it's like, "Oh yeah, here you go. Here's my vote. Okay. Oh, well, I know I'm just giving my vote, but can I please get a wish now? Well, we'll see." And it's like you can't do that. As our leaders, they should be doing something and actually, changing that. But of course, they're not because, and now I'm going to bring in one small other history, is the European influence within Black organizations from their inception. The NAACP was the Niagara Movement, 1909. And what did they do? Oh, we're going to work towards rights for Black people. Okay, great. But we want to have control of how you get your rights. Oh, okay. 1920 comes along. Women's rights come along. White women who worked with men to get them emancipated, and the Black women that fought alongside them, what did they say? "Hey, sorry, we can't do anything else for you." 45 years they left African American women. But yet, when the 100th anniversary came up, they said, "Hey, come celebrate right beside us." And there were Black women that said, "Yeah, we should." And it's like, are you crazy? They left you behind. But see, it's always about, oh, we have to forget. And that is a part of why we keep getting ourselves in these situations, Tim. We keep forgetting our history. It's like it happens to us. It's like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. It's tragic. Or, oh, you know what? Let's just forget about it. We can't do it. We have to start remembering the history, and we have to keep showing it. Look, the best way I'm going to show it is this. Back in the day when I was growing up as a kid, I know you did too, brother, they used to show Eyes on the Prize every year on public television. And the family would sit down and you'd watch it. And you would talk about it year after year. And this is the civil rights movement. But you would sit down and you would talk about that because that's the reason why you take your butt, you go to school, and you get good grades. You take your butt and you don't get into fights and all kinds of trouble. Because the thing is, there are people who fought and died so you could get there. But most of the people today don't know that anymore. They think everything is going to be gifted to them, and we know it. And we got to work on it. We got to work on it in the way we have to. And again, I'm saying this as an educator. I take Eyes on the Prize in on the schools. Into my classrooms, I show them Eyes on the Prize. Because the one thing is, it's rough, but their parents are like this. I have to show them something because they don't believe what we had to do. And that's what is happening in the Democratic Party. It's like people are like, wait a second, so you guys voted for the Democratic Party? Yeah. And they say, thank you for voting for us because we wouldn't be here, right? But then they're not doing anything for you, directly for you. No. And we're supposed to go, that's okay. And I just can't do it anymore, Tim.
Yeah.
And I know you can't, brother, and I'm glad to see it from you, and I'm glad to see the other people that are here. I really hope that this is something, man, you keep going on and on with, and I'm going to be here with you.
My brother, my brother. Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. And I appreciate your phone call. And you keep teaching those kids, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Give it up for my caller, y'all. That's inspiring stuff, brother. That's inspiring stuff. And I want to thank you as well for the kind words, man, of an acknowledgement and the motivation and the inspiration that you're providing to me as well, man. I appreciate that. But, we need more of that to folks. You never know what other people are going through, and though I disagree with some folks, man, and we have different strategies, different ways of doing things, man, this is not easy work, and all of us could be doing other things that are far more lucrative with our platforms. So I like to give it up to anybody who's fighting a good fight the best way they know how. And only you know if you're fighting the best way you know how. I just want to add something, brother, and that is that I'm very hesitant to push too much blame on the black folks because by and large, I think that most of the situations that we find ourselves in are situations we find ourselves in because they were premeditated and designed by a system that feeds off of us. I mean, that's how you start doing the history, and you start going down the path of what black people had to do to what black people have been through in this country. You come to some very stark realizations that this is nothing this is not a self-inflicted wound. And that it's not just black people who are not getting what they want from America, but white people aren't getting what they want either. You know what I'm saying? And they're still showing up and voting Republican and Democrat the same way. It's not like that their issues are really being taken care of. So it's not some crazy phenomena. It's that America is fixated on giving us nothing. Specifically. It's not like they're just lumping, ideal policies together for white folks. I mean, they did the New Deal. They did the Fair Deal. They did the GI Bill and the Homestead Act. And I've reported on that stuff. But as you start looking out along the America, you start looking into the rural areas of America, man, they don't care about white people either. So what I'm saying is we're all in the same predicament when it comes to this, but I do believe you're correct that black people must wake fully up. So many of us have thrown our hands up. So many of us have thrown our hands up and walked away. And I understand walking away, but I want you to stop and let's band together in our communities. Let's start, as Sam pointed out, let's start applying pressure locally on these politicians. Let's start doing the hard work. I've knocked on a few doors. I was a volunteer. I was an organizer. I was a community activist and a community organizer. I've done these things. I've knocked on doors. I've talked to people I didn't know. We need more of that. We need to build those organizations at the grassroots level and get people active. What do we do with that activity? Well, we start focusing it. You get enough people together, start talking about problems in your community, you start coming up with some ideas of how to solve it. And you start talking about who the people that are responsible for these problems. And you start making them your project and a replacement project on those that don't listen. And I'm telling you, that has impact. Now, will it change if Joe Biden gets elected? Like, will that decide a presidency? No, but it will impact your daily life. So I think there are things we can do, my brother. There really are. And I want to be a conduit for that to get done. But at the end of the day, man, I think our media is so important that we get the word out, that we talk about these issues, that people have an ability to go to a platform and have these conversations. I got so many other stories I want to cover, so many other people I want to bring on. There's environmental injustices in the Fifth Ward in Texas that I want to talk about. I didn't know about this. I know about this because Sam told me. Sam knows about it because someone contacted her. So we are all working together to get the word out about very important issues. That's why media is so important. Don't give up on us, brother. Let's work together. We got some more work to do. And I'm optimistic that with this technology, what can we accomplish? It can't shut us all down, Johnson. All right, I'm going to go to the next call now. Give it up for my caller in the spirit of unity and working together. Yes. All right. I'm trying to see I'm trying to get people in order. Let me go to 804. 804, you are live.
Hey, what up, brother Tim? What's going on, man? I've been listening to the show, and it's been very constructive so far. But I want to piggyback on some of the last callers said about, you know, the eyes on the prize and all that. Now, I'm an 80s baby. I was born in the Reagan era, and I was going to school in the 90s. By the time the 90s hit, pretty much the whole civil rights mediocre system was pretty much dead. And the rappers started taking over. And the rappers like Ice Cube and NWA and all them, they started speaking to the generation of young people. And those young people started really responding to those who were speaking to them. And as the times went on, the same people that were in leadership from the 1980s are still in the same leadership position today. So you wonder why you're not going to get a so-called black agenda or whatever that may be, is because let's just be really honest about it. The people who are called black people, they don't make up the majority of the population. So they're not going to get the majority of stuff. So we're in a permanent beggar position where we're begging racist man and racist woman, the white supremacists collectively, to do for us. Give us 40 acres and a mule. Give us reparations for basically subjugating us based on this color classification that you assigned us. You know, but you give us a check, okay, reparations, great. We get reparations. We get our 40 acres and a mule, or whatever the hell they want to give us. Okay, you're still a nigger tomorrow. We will still find a way to subjugate you by giving you money. We will always find a way to keep you down. Yes, we'll pacify you so we shut you the hell up. Or you burn some buildings down and, you know, okay, well, you know, the buildings, you burn buildings down, but, corporate America is going to invest $34 billion into a black business. There you go. Great.
So what's the solution, brother? My brother, what's the solution, brother? What's your solution, brother?
There is no solution. My solution is simple. There is no black agenda because black people don't have.
That's not a solution, brother. What's the solution?
The only solution black people should have is a produce justice agenda.
How will
tell you what I mean?
Go ahead.
I will explain what I mean. All black people
90 seconds.
On replacing the system of white supremacy and replacing the system with a system of justice, which guarantees that no person will be mistreated, and guaranteeing that the persons who need help the most will get the most constructive help. Because currently, right now, as we speak, no one's getting the constructive help they're getting. Look what's going on in Congress right now.
Hold on, brother. Brother, you said it was simple.
60 seconds.
You said it was simple. The solution is simple. Replace the system. Are you serious, brother? That's your solution: is replace this system as it currently is, magically replace it with something else.
Let me go into further details. Us as individual black persons need to be thinking, speaking, and acting on a counter-racist agenda. See, and I'll go into details about this because everything that black people have done at the collective has always been shut down by the white supremacists. Black Panther movement, shut down. Black Lives Matter got co-opted into the Democratic Party. Operation SNCC, nowhere to be found. See, anytime that black people do collective value, they will always find ways to shut it down.
Okay, so what's the solution, brother? You're talking a lot about symptoms, but no solutions, brother. I'm going to have to let you go, brother. Finish it up for me.
all right. Each individual black person needs to be on code
All right, brother. Thank you for the phone call, man.
collectively.
Give it up for the phone call, man. Give it up for the phone call. I know where you got this from. I know who's talking this. And look, man, I try my best not to be, not to nitpick, man, not to go at my brothers, man. They got their own ideology. They got their own. Obviously, it's working. People are able to raise money and do some great things in their communities and bring some art and some entertainment and some history and some stuff together. So shout out to Tariq Nasheed, man, and I appreciate his people and what they stand for. Brother, this is the system that we have. The solutions that are handed down, the solutions that we've come to place, that we are championing by people much smarter than myself, people much more learned than I, scholars such as Dr. Sandy Darity, folks like Dr. Claude Anderson, the Powernomics. We're operating within the system that it is now and saying, in this system that we now currently have, what would the changes that need to be done for us to have a fighting chance in that system? Now, of course, if it was up to me and up to you, it sounds like, brother, we do away with this system. It's sort of like the people that say, they want to operate in the system that we don't have two parties when we do. It's the same argument I have with them. You sound just like them. They say, why vote for Democrats? Why vote for Republicans? Why be caught up in this two-party system? Well, because we live in this system right now. This is the system that we have. Until this system is gone, we got to operate within what we have. People can't wait until we no longer have this system to live their lives. I'm getting older, you're getting older. My kids are getting older. I want them to have a better life in the here and now, not in the by and by in the future when I'm dust. So you're losing me, brother, when you say, well, we shouldn't take money. I don't know where that's coming from. In this country, in this world even, money is very important. Okay, and that's how we, not only how we keep score, but how we decide who lives indoors. Black people are in a position where with 13% of the population, 50% of the homeless population, you're telling me that we should not ask for money. That money's not going to solve our problems. Please tell that to somebody living on the street. Which one of us is out of touch? Being on code will not keep you in your home. Being on code will not put food on your table, brother. I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate being on code. I try my best to stay on code. Earlier, I had a phone caller who wanted to blame black people for living in a white supremacist society for basically being in that society. Unless you got a ticket to another planet, this is the one we have. Unless you want to leave the country, this is the country we have. We built this country for free. I think we'd be foolish to leave it. How they going to make us work a country, build a country for free, and then also get us to leave it voluntarily as well? Please. So, look, man, I understand your points of view. I will agree with you on one part, definitely. I was being nice. I should not be nice, okay? I don't feel like it's necessary always for me to come after callers, okay? But let me make this clear to my educated brother who called earlier. I am not happy with what happened in the 60s and the 70s. See, we were making moves, making strides towards a black agenda, and then you know what happened, brother? Some black people got jobs. Yeah, see, here's the deal, man. This is what I was telling Mrs. Black, my wife, 5 years ago when I was going ham on Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party. And she was worried. She was looking out the window worried that somebody was going to come get her husband. And I said, baby, you ain't got to worry about that because in America, what they do, they don't just offer you. They offer you a job first. Yeah, it's much easier to pay you off than it is to knock you off. And so that's what they did to a lot of our black leaders. They paid them off. They gave them positions. And then that became the struggle. That was around the same time that Bill Cosby Show became so popular. Black people were seeing imagery of black people being successful that they had never seen before. And they thought that was the ticket. But little did they know, very few of us would get that big house with 4 kids and the doctor and the lawyer and the whole thing working. You know what I'm saying? Little did we know that this was just a fallacy. Hell, now we really know that Bill Cosby wasn't Bill Cosby. You know what I'm saying? So we started living vicariously through these people that were doing well. They started elevating these black leaders. We thought all was well, but all was not well. But know who was not fooled the whole time? Working black people, poor black people. Poor black people were not fooled at all. And I just say poor white people weren't fooled either. Because you know what became their number one show? Roseanne. See, working class people knew. It's the upper class people, the couple that were doing well, but that became foolish, who thought they had it made because they had a job. They were GS-10 in the Department of Justice or something, or some other government agency. They thought they could talk down their noses to black people. High-stepping black folks who did well, who forgot where they came from. That's what happened, brother. Even Big K, who does my track, the tribute track for the Pause podcast, he said it best. He said it. They changed in their revolution for a pension. And he's Latino. So that's what really happened, brother. Now, how do we undo that? Well, we definitely don't fall for this code of a personality bullshit. And we definitely look for something for our vote. If we want something tangible for our vote, we want something tangible out of our leaders, or we get new leaders. And that's how it is. And we hold people accountable. But we also support the ones who are doing the fight. Now, once we determine that the fight's not being done, that's when we go in. And then we have something to replace them with. What I'm seeing right now is a whole lot of people doing a whole lot of throw people out. They're talking about throwing people out before they even get in now. And they don't understand what there is money coming in from the right wing to get people to do the dirty work of the right wing while posing as left or as black supporters. That's what's happening now. There's money out there. There's lots of money being floated around to some of your favorite people to do some very dirty things to black people and to working people. And when I say that, I wish people would listen. I'm going to go to the next call, man, but I appreciate your phone call. It ain't always easy being on the other end of this. Give me a shout out. We got 346. 346, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
What's going on, Tim? This is Larry, man. I've just been watching your channel for about 3 months now, and I was hooked the first day I saw it. But I have one thing to say about Biden. I don't think that everybody's to blame for him getting into office because, like my mom says, you always have to vote for the lesser of 2 evils. So, like you say, until there's a change in that, and there's an independent party, is going to stay that way. But my question is, how do we go about changing that system?
Well, that's the question for us all, isn't it, Larry, man? I appreciate the phone call, Larry. Thank you, man. To tell your mom, I said, thank you for tuning into the Wolfpack, or get her to tune in as well, man. Look, man, like Larry, fam, please know, I wish it was a different situation. I don't want us voting to mitigate our damage control. You know what I'm saying? Voting defensively, like, oh God, we gotta get rid of Trump. Trump is dangerous. Like, I don't want us voting for those reasons. That's the booby trap that they set up on us. That's the trick. They present us a boogeyman to say, you got to vote for us. It's not always like people voted for Biden because they loved him. Right? They presented a worse villain than Biden, at least to the majority of Americans. That's how they saw Biden. That's why we have Biden. We have Biden because he appeared to be the lesser of the evil. And you're right. That's the way it appeared. Is that true? It's kind of hard to tell right now. They are different, though. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, if they don't have a black agenda, what good is it? And that's what I got to get my people on. I have to educate more people. I feel like I got to do more of a job. I have to work harder myself. I have to team up with others to amplify that message. And I'm not comfortable with just pointing my fingers at other black people and saying, why didn't you figure it out? It's my job to help you figure this out. It's my job to help us win. It's my job to inform people. So, hey, what's the solution, brother? How do we get out of this situation? We got to wake people up, brother. We got to inform them. That's what I think. That's what must happen. People need to know the condition that black people are in. I don't even think most black people know what's going on with black people. Like, they think we got time. If we had time, I wouldn't be talking about this. If we had time and everything was fine, I would not be talking about reparations and a black agenda pretty much every damn show. But it's that bad. So Joe Biden, if Joe Biden's not going to mitigate that, if Joe Biden ain't going to help us solve that, if Joe Biden can't use that pen they like to use, the one that Donald Trump kept using, if Joe Biden ain't going to use that pen to help black people, what good is he? And I want black people to look him in the eye, look him directly, watch his ass on CNN and MSNBC, and hold him accountable, hold the Democratic Party accountable. We're the most trusted, make no doubt about it, Larry, we're the most trusted voting bloc in the country. They don't want to lose us. We better move now before it's too late, before it don't matter anymore. All right. 225, you are live, 225. What's your name? What's your comment?
Mr. Black, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. Who's this?
My name is Nicholas. I'm actually calling from Oklahoma. Long time listener, second time caller. I got a few things to say, and I'm trying to make it quick. It's been a while since I called in. I haven't called in since the Bernie loss, but I've been, in and out of listening to you. And the first thing I want to say is I appreciate what you do. And a couple months ago, I hate to rehash this because I don't know how you feel about it, but when they came at you about the whole Breonna Joy Gray situation, and I was like, man, it's horrible. But it showed me a lot how they try to assassinate your character, and a lot of the people who were saying these things, I noticed how they wasn't ingratiated in our community because they didn't even know the lingo, and then they use that opportunity to make you the big black scary man. And I know it's all because you're speaking on black issues, and I've watched how YouTube took you from millions of views to a couple of views. The more issues, the more your black issues got. So I appreciate you for staying on topic. As the last guy say, stay on code. But you're doing your part to stay on code, and we appreciate that. First, I want to talk about, as you say, like us being a loyal voting bloc to the Democratic Party. And I tried to organize. I mean, even in the small area that I'm in, and a lot of the people was, we got to go with the lesser two evils. And I'm like, I can understand what you're saying at that point. But at the same time, if you're not even threatening to withhold your vote, then you can't even get them to come to the table if they know you're just going to fall in line anyway, And it's not me blaming it on black people because I know it's all systematic, Even in the 60s and 70s, like you was talking about, like the FBI and the CIA, the government and all, one of their main things was to stop the rise of black movement and black people. So it's all a part of their system. But we have to say, okay, threaten to say, okay, we're not going to come out for you in full force. We're not going to sit here and sing your praises and try to say we're going to vote for you because you're the lesser two evils if you're not going to offer us anything at all, And as you were speaking earlier about the Joe Biden popularity going down, to me it was expected because I didn't expect him to do anything. Once you're in there, you most definitely not going to get anything that you ask for because he's already in the position that he wants to be. You don't even have to talk about us anymore, Also, the Roland Martin issue. I used to listen to Roland Martin, I'm not going to say faithfully, but I always hated his arrogance. He wanted to throw his credentials around, basically, of the opportunities he had to go into the white spaces and make it seem like he was there preaching black issues. But he wasn't. He was just there to basically be that guy. And what really threw me off about him was the whole when Kamala Harris was in her run for president, and people were starting to question her politics, starting to question things she done in the past when she was in positions of power, and the thing that she did to hurt black people. And his whole thing was, but she's black. Okay, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, period. And I know he's heard that before. But he was tearing down the black community for questioning her when that's our job when she's a representative, when we're her constituents. We have to question what she's done at any level so we can determine what she's going to do when she gets to the next level. So, but I just wanted to say, man, I thank you for what you do, bruh. Keep doing what you're doing, and I hope this windfall come down for you, bruh, and you're able to promote yourself and get out there and build up your base and keep your following alive and just keep going, man.
Hey, thank you, Nicholas. Give it up for my caller, y'all. That's a caller right there. That caller's a baller. I appreciate you, Nicholas. All the way from Oklahoma, man. I just had the Reverend Dr. Robert Turner on the show talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, man. It was a great conversation, and I enjoyed it very much. Glad to see him doing bigger and bigger things and getting out on bigger platforms such as Vice News to share his story of reparations for Tulsa. See, I root for people to get on bigger platforms. As long as when you go to those bigger platforms, you keep up the same talk, that your rhetoric is supportive of us. I don't have a problem with somebody going to a bigger platform, but if you go to a bigger platform and you don't do nothing but take care of yourself and go in there and repeat talking points, it's all about what you do when you're there. Also appreciate you recognizing, man, they did a brother dirty. Bruh, they sat me out like a pincushion. And all of it wasn't white either. So many people used me the last couple of months. Damn, I feel like an old used mask. Jesus, they just threw me to the side, brother. Used and abused and served like hell. So one day he was found. But I appreciate it, man. I really do. I appreciate you recognizing it. And I'm glad it was illuminating. If something good came out of it, I hope that the people that paid attention saw what's up with the left. You don't get much further left than I was. Something went wrong, and we know what it was. Standing up for black people. And calling people out about it. What good is a platform if you don't call people out about issues? That's what we do. The machine wants what it wants. I'm telling you, brother, you have to make a decision early on what you are in it for. Because this game is going to take it from you. If you don't have that decision, it's going to decide for you. And if it's about money and success, you ain't going to have no backbone, you ain't going to have no ethics, you ain't going to stand on nothing, you ain't going to be serious about nothing. You're going to be just a wishy-washy, go with the win person, or go with the win, stand for nobody entity. That's what's going to happen. That's what's happened to so many others. I mean, do you realize calling out Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris, the first vice president? Like doing that? Now, you know I called her out. I was critical, and I still am critical. You know what that meant? Oh, man. You know the opportunities I'm shut off from because of that? See, people love to throw stones. They don't want to do the tail of the tape. Roland would have done that. His ass would not be on MSNBC yesterday. And I'm not saying he shouldn't have done it. You damn right he should have done it. I did it. Oh, so it's okay for me to speak truth to power for my people, to call out nonsense in the political space regardless of who it is. But is that okay for someone else to do the same? Come on, man. I'm sorry. I have a hard time distinguishing between a slave a slave master because of color. Like I don't distinguish, man. Who's ever swinging the whip? I have a hard time distinguishing between an abuser because of things like the color of clothes they were wearing or what name tag they wore. Like if you are doing that function that hurts people, you are that thing that we say you are. And that doesn't matter if you're a male or female, black or white, or some other denomination. Doesn't matter if you're gay or straight. Don't matter. So all that never came into question for me, brother. But see, I'm a different person, as you know, brother. That's why they don't know what to do with me. But I'm glad y'all know what to do. Keep coming back to the Tim Black Show. Let's go to 916. 916, you are live. What's your name? What's your comment?
What's up, my brother? Look, this is information, man, brother. I'm listening. I'm paying attention. And the brother that called you earlier, he's talking about Neely Fuller. You know this. Neely Fuller Jr.'s compensatory, concept, which is replace white supremacy with something different. All those talking points, we are aware of that. But the only way we're going to change something as black people, as people in general, is that we have to change it. The change is you in the mirror. When you look at yourself in the mirror, everybody, and you wake up, you're the change. See, politicians work for us. We don't work for them. We need to manipulate the system. Other groups who don't even vote in the high numbers that we vote, Brother Black, they are able to manipulate the system because the one thing that this country respects, my brother, and our dear brother who passed away, Fred Hampton, said that we need a what? Political education. How many of us have a true political education to understand the system, how it works, how to manipulate it? That's how we change it. It works with ourselves. We can use slogans like, we need to be on code. Black people, if you want to be on code, it starts with you being on code by manipulating this political system. We don't live on Mars. We can't, we have the political system that we have. How about we learn to manipulate that system like other groups have? The Chinese don't even vote like us, but yet they got a bill passed. Why? Because they have economic power. This country respects power, economic power, political power. That's power. And so we need to focus on that which we can control and that which we can manipulate, like the politicians. They depend on votes. They look at numbers. If we're not showing up to teachers, board meetings, all these different things we should be involved in. And you know this, brother, all government starts local. What are you doing locally? Well, you're organizing folks out there on your local level. It starts with you, a solution. Stop the rhetoric. We know we got to be on code as black people, but it starts with you. We too often like slogans, but don't do enough. Brother, thank you for hearing me out tonight. I really appreciate your broadcast.
Information Man, give it up for him, y'all. Go subscribe to his channel, Information Man Show. Yes, sir. Information Man. What a strong ending call. Look at that, man. I got the Reset Race podcast. I got Information Man Show calling in. Man, how did I get so lucky? I got the troops. I got backup. Yeah. Look, guys. Oh, man. I got to agree. If we're not putting the work in, like Information Man, myself, Reset Race, we're putting the work in. We're putting the time in. We're doing the damn thing. Are we always using the same language as you would choose to use? Maybe not. But we are fighting the good fight for the right causes with the same goal in mind. There are different ways to articulate that goal, but it's the same goal. I know what Information Man wants. I know what Sam wants. Hopefully, after watching the show, you know what I want. We're well aware that the 1% continues to keep their boot on our neck. And when you are black and you're in that type of system, for you to say money would not change anything, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Hell, man, you got money, you could own your police force. That's all they care about. The Benevolent Service Police Force Association. That's all they care about. That's it, man. Like, do you not know? You get a police force a couple bucks. So we got to start doing what other groups do. They buy them off. But in order to buy them off, you got to have money. That's what I'm saying. So look, man, we're the most disenfranchised group because we're unable to grease the wheels of power. Money talks, so we got to have money. Man, to live in a country as rich, as wealthy as the United States and not have money is very expensive. Oh, it's very expensive, Johnson. So these things need to change. Why do you think they want to keep us broke? So that we remain powerless. Brother, I don't want to stay on code just to stay broke. Can we do both? Can we do both? Can we get some money and stay on code? All right, brother. You know, back when they used to, back around the 1990, the summer, the red summer, the bloody summer, when black people were coming back from war, recently coming back from World War I, thought that they wanted their respect, wanted to be able to walk down the street without stepping in the gutter, able to buy a soda from any place they wanted to, or buy a pop, without going to the back door with the mice, and got lynched for it. 36 cities in the United States had terror acts, white terrorist groups, acts of, and look, and it didn't just kill the person they were beefing with, the black person they were upset with, who may not have walked in the gutter when they saw a white person on the sidewalk, or may have went to that lunch counter. They put out bands and bands of white men with guns who went indiscriminately shooting any black people that they saw. That includes women and children. Yes, America has a sordid history. So I do not blame black people for this situation. Oh, we wanted what we always wanted. To be equal. Freedom. To be left alone. To raise our families. Live our lives. An opportunity to pursue happiness, which is in our Constitution. That's all we've ever wanted. Now, it's the same thing as most people want, right? But most people did not have policies in government, policies either by writing or by intention designed to prevent that. So that's the difference. But man, I'm so glad I got my Tim Black Wolf Pack. I'm so glad I got people that got my back, some people that understand where we're coming from, that stuck with me, brother. They cut this live stream off 3 times. Now, you got to really want this show. You got to really be a supporter of this show to hang around after 3 shutdowns. I mean, it's like, goodness gracious, that's it. I mean, maybe Tim Black's not meant to go live. And still, we have just about the same amount of people right now watching as we did when we got shut off. Give or take about 100. That's because we're strong. We are strong. We got good people. We got allies and co-conspirators. We're going to need that, right, Sam? We're going to need that Jim Brown leftist, right? I'm sorry, John Brown leftist. Jim Brown, that's the football player. Respect the hell out of Jim Brown, y'all. Give it up for Jim Brown, y'all. Maybe I'm supposed to say that. Maybe I'm supposed to say that. Wow. I'll be back here tomorrow with a Pause show. That's right. Tomorrow is Pause with Tim Black. Tune into that. Tonight, do me a favor. Please go. Go to TimBlackPause.com. Subscribe. Subscribe to my podcast. Cost you nothing. It's free. Let's get some ears on the podcast. I'm gonna promote that, and I'm gonna promote that on all my social media. We got to get away from needing YouTube and Facebook. They don't want us. So let's put ourselves in a position where we don't need them. All right? I want to go read my comments, man. I got great people, man. Thank you so much, guys. Everyone who's a Patreon, a member of the Tim Black Show, if you like this show, if you thought it was informative, you can feel that I'm real, that I'm passionate about my people. I'm willing to lose if we can win. I'm willing to take a loss if it means we can move up. I'm willing to support my people and fight for what we deserve. I will not stand with the 1%. I'm looking for co-conspirators and allies to fight the good fight. We support universal programs, but we gotta be black first, reparations first, black agenda first, because if we don't go first, for some reason in America, we go never. If reparations for black people and if black agenda is not first on the list in America, we don't go last, we go never. That's been the history of it. Do the history, Homestead Act, 1862. Do the history, GI Bill, 95% to white folks. Do the history. All right, I'm going to go to the comment section, man. I appreciate y'all. Will says, $5. Thank you, Will, for donating to the show. Then we got Keith Weston. Big Brother TB, you might have to say fair use so they can't get on your back. These networks are funny like that. I got you, brother. I got you. They are. Darwinism. Sending you and your family love. What's up? What's up, my brother, my sisters, my Johnson? Thank you. Tom is in the house. Oh, Bond. Bond Ivers. What's up, Bond? Thank you. Will says, get what you can, Johnsons. No amount's too small. Thank you, Will. I appreciate you, fam. All my Johnsons, Tim needs your help. Will, what's up, fam? Thank you. That's important, man. Got my back. Okay, Keith Weston. Keith, what's up, brother? Big shout out to Tim Blacks, Reset Race and Information Man. Powerful black media. I need some black women to start to get their, to get their media on. Give me some female black independent media to promote. Let's do this, man. Let's help them out. We got any allies out there fighting a good fight? Any co-conspirators I could promote? Darwinism 2.0. We refuse to sit on the sidelines. We will be heard. That's what I'm saying. Darwinism. It's my job to help us be heard. That's what a platform should be for. Amplifying the voices of the people. So that's why this call-in's got to happen. Dustin Benz, what's up, Dust? What about other programs like Nebula, other online platforms that don't have ads? Would that work? Fam, here it is. TimBlackTV.com has been revamped. I'm working on my website. It ain't gonna matter soon. We'll run our own ads. Right now, this show is sponsored by Pause with Tim Black. That's right, a podcast that's blickety black that speaks truth to power and calls out names. Go to TimBlackPause.com, become a member of the podcast. Also join us at jointimblack.com. Don't look, over 50 and fabulous. Grandma Stimulus. What? 50 in the house. Over 50 in the house. Thank you, sister. I appreciate you. Glamorous. Over 50 glamorous with it, man. You know what I'm talking about, 50. Now, we had some earlier people that donated to the show. I would cut off so many times. I got to go look them all up because all that's left. All that winced away with all these restarts. So let me try to go find my earlier commenters because they deserve that. They deserve those shout-outs. Sheldon Hughes. Tim, you rock. Wolfpack to you. Wolfpack love you. Brother. Wow, just a reminder. Race and Information Show. I subscribe to Reset Race and Information Show. Sheldon Hughes, thank you, my brother. Give it up for Sheldon. Bo Einstein in the house. Bo Einstein. Clyburn. I know Joe Bill. I know Joe, BBB Bill solves most issues. What the hell? I don't know about that one. I'm about that one. I'm missing that one. Kalam Thompson. Hey now, brother Tim Black, the FBI takeover is underway. What up? What's up, Kalam? Keith Weston in the house. Keith Weston says, big brother, you might have to say fair use. Okay, I got that. Darwinism, got him too? I think I'm caught up. Y'all. Keith Weston, shout out to the Information Man, Reset Race. Yeah, looks like we're good now, y'all. Thank y'all so much. All right, remember, man, all my Tim Black Wolfpack, all my Johnsons, we're going to keep fighting the good fight. We're going to call out the Democrats. We're going to call out the Republicans. We're going to call out the bullshit media, both corporate and independent. And we're going to stand on it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to stand on it. All right? So, I'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another Pause with Tim Black. Hope you can join us. Until then, remember, it's all about us. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Wolfpack and Pause. No Joe. It is what it is.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Most news shows are suspect. They don't, and when they do, it's all fluff. How does that help your life? How does that help your family? How does that help the culture? They don't. The Tim Black Show is different. Tim Black gives you news for people who can't stand the news. Real, authentic, researched, entertaining, on point. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Visit www.timblacktv.com today. Get black breaking news, politics, culture from someone you can trust. timblacktv.com. Join us today.
Let me ask you something. Do they know us? When I say they, I mean the talking heads on cable news. Do they know you? I mean, they talk about the world as if it's a sport. They play political games, report on our pain, rack our brain to feed the stock exchange, but do they know us? Do they know what we care about? Nope. They're too far away. They can't see us. They can't feel us. They can't relate to us. See, when you want to know what's going on in your world, trust someone who lives in your world. Subscribe.
Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't be fooled by corporate media talking heads misleading the people. Get your news and information from an entity that keeps it real. Tim Black. Tim Black is the host of The Tim Black Show. Independent news that leaves you informed, inspired, and sometimes entertained, but always in the know. Go to timblacktv.com and sign up today. The Tim Black Show is news for people who can't stand the news. See you there.